Episode 48. The CIA Controls Hollywood. Welcome back to the Conspiracy Theory Analyst. I'm Robin Veru. Tonight, we're stepping into a world where bright lights, red carpets, and blockbuster movies intersect with the shadowy hand of government power. Hollywood, the dream factory, the storyteller to the world. But what if those stories aren't entirely organic? What if behind the scripts, the casting, and even the plots, there's an unseen editor shaping what you see and what you don't? The theory is this: the CIA has long had a hand in Hollywood, not just consulting on movies, but actively guiding them, funding them, and using them as tools for propaganda and social influence. It sounds wild, but when you dig into the evidence, the lines between art, entertainment, and intelligence start to blur. Detailed explanation: the roots of this conspiracy go back to the Cold War. Movies and television were recognized as powerful tools of persuasion. A single blockbuster could shift how millions of people viewed the world. In the 1950s and 60s, the CIA and Pentagon began to establish quiet partnerships with Hollywood. They provided military equipment, locations, and access in exchange for script approval. If a director wanted tanks or fighter jets for their film, the Department of Defense could say yes or no depending on how the military was portrayed. But, according to theorists, this wasn't just about logistics. It was about control. Movies became a way to push narratives. America as the hero, enemies as villains, technology as salvation, surveillance as necessary. From Cold War spy films to post-9/11 thrillers, the fingerprints of intelligence influence are there, subtle but unmistakable. Core elements of the conspiracy: script approval claims that agencies review and rewrite scripts to ensure favorable portrayals of intelligence and military operations. Propaganda films, movies like Top Gun and Zero Dark 30, are often cited as recruitment ads disguised as blockbusters. Suppression of negative stories: films that depict the CIA or military in a bad light face obstacles, denied access, reduced budgets, or quiet blacklisting. Shaping culture: the belief that films don't just entertain, they prepare the public to accept wars, surveillance, or political policies. Actors and assets: some argue that Hollywood stars themselves are recruited as assets, influencers used to spread cultural messages in line with intelligence agendas. Evidence for and against evidence for. Declassified documents confirm the CIA and Pentagon reviewed thousands of film and TV scripts. The Pentagon has an official entertainment liaison office that works directly with Hollywood. Movies like Argo openly depict CIA operations, with cooperation from the agency itself. The messaging in some films mirrors government talking points almost too perfectly. Evidence against. Influence doesn't necessarily mean control. Agencies may simply protect their image rather than dictate narratives. Many anti-establishment films, from Platoon to Syriana, still get made. Hollywood is driven by profit. A successful anti-government film can make just as much money as a pro-government one. Pros and arguments in favor: believers argue the relationship is undeniable. When filmmakers need access to billion-dollar aircraft carriers or intelligence facilities, the price is compliance. This means the government can essentially write itself into the role of hero, while sanitizing darker realities like covert coups, torture, or surveillance abuse. They also argue that the sheer consistency of messaging, the same patriotic arcs, the same villain archetypes, suggests coordination rather than coincidence. Cons and arguments against skeptics counter that influence is not the same as mind control. The CIA may polish its image, but Hollywood still produces a wide range of stories, including highly critical ones. They argue that audiences aren't brainwashed, they're entertained. People can distinguish between a movie and reality, even if themes overlap with government messaging. And they point out that conspiracies often overstate the CIA's power. Hollywood is chaotic, profit-driven, and full of competing voices, hardly a tightly controlled propaganda machine. People's opinions and viewpoints: public opinion is mixed. Some shrug, assuming of course the government has its hands in the entertainment industry. Others find the idea disturbing, that their childhood heroes or favorite action films might really be recruitment tools. For the culture at large, The CIA Hollywood theory resonates because it touches on a deeper truth. Stories shape us. The films we watch influence how we see war, government, and even ourselves. If those stories are guided even subtly, then so are we. Conclusion. So, does the CIA control Hollywood? Here's what we know. Government agencies do have documented relationships with filmmakers. They review scripts, provide resources, and shape portrayals. That much is fact. But whether this rises to the level of control, manipulation, or outright propaganda is the open question. For believers, every blockbuster is another chapter in the Great Conditioning. For skeptics, it's just business, a handshake deal between storytellers and institutions. Either way, the connection between Hollywood and the state is real, and it reminds us that what we watch is never just entertainment. This has been the Conspiracy Theory Analyst. I'm Robin Veru. If you enjoyed tonight's episode, don't forget to rate and follow on Spotify.